Welcome back to the All Out NRL Fantasy Podcast. And after Magic Round, the boys actually came down with a bit of a sickness, and you're still on the mend here, Dor, but it's good to have you back on the Buy, Hold, Sell podcast, man.
It was a very big Magic Round. Attended all the days.
No wonder you're sick. You're starting to rain the whole time on the Sunday.
Not one, not two, not three, but 4 days of Magic Round. It's quite special.
Yeah, as well as
I can't say I'm surprised.
On the Sunday night going out.
Dor just loves this footy.
So it was a big send. As well as the reason I got sick is because I decided to not move from my seat.
No poncho, Dor.
During the game. No poncho.
Can we just get this straight? Bro was sitting in row one, pelting down rain.
Rain, yep.
And just does not decide to move.
Did not want to miss any football, so decided to just cop it.
All those cowards running to cover. Dor just remains still.
Yeah.
There's
But probably
an aura about that.
Those cowards are probably not sick.
Overall, it was a great Magic Round.
It was good. I really enjoyed it.
I remember the one a couple of years ago was definitely the worst with all the yellow cards.
Yeah, the refereeing's like all that debate and everything. The officiating was really good.
Yeah,
Only
the
one
pitch held up fairly okay.
Relatively okay.
Look, the pitch always gets. Is the pitch going to hold up? It happens every year, but it always is absolutely fine, especially with all the rain we got. There was only one controversial sort of decision in that Raiders Storm game, but outside of that, I thought the officiating the whole weekend was so much better.
With all due respect, and this comes up every year, is Brisbane the right place to host Magic Round? Do we need to move? There's nowhere else place that you can go in Australia where Magic Round will be better than it is in Brisbane.
Nah, keep it there.
There is no place better.
I think maybe
Record
New Zealand.
crowds.
New Zealand could work.
No, you can't go New Zealand because the time frame's different, and every part of the times are going to be cooked. So,
Hey. Yeah, but fair. But still, just keep it in Brisbane.
Record crowds. Look, if they want it, if someone else wants to have it, make 2 Magic Rounds. Like seriously,
Nah.
But 149,000
Super Rugby
over the 3 days
that was popular, wasn't it?
Over the 3 days, 149,000 people went. So look,
how we scored, or how we score?
Oh, how did we score? We actually did not too bad last week.
There was a lot of huge scores.
There was some big ones, weren't there?
We got
There were some monsters.
Yeah, 1,040. Look, again, we probably captained the wrong guy again. We went with May, who got 68, 136 as captain.
We picked the wrong captain every week.
We could have gone Haas, who got 88 with our captaincy, or Cleary, who we did captain last week, decided to turn up and destroy my Broncos and got 97 points. But look, the main thing was there is Ponga really came back for us. So
the type of lock-in needed to go well in tipping this year is
It's
incredible.
crazy, isn't it?
I got 6. We got 6 tips right last week. I only got
Didn't realize we actually had tipping.
Yeah, I only got the Broncos and Cowboys wrong last week, so we did pretty well.
I tipped the Dragons. I watched the Dragons. I think I'm immune to them disappointing me.
That was actually the worst drop thing ever.
I was walking around at Caxton after I had to put the jacket and just tie the jersey. I was just sick of the heckles.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
But we've got a few issues though with our team this week that we'll probably discuss in this buy, hold, sell.
Should we get into
with
it?
a few players? Yeah, let's get straight into it.
First guy, Bowie Fermor. We've talked about him at length. I think he's still a fine option, but I think he's locked in.
Yeah, I think
for
he's
Origin.
with
so
all
I
this.
think we can sort of skip over him.
Yeah.
Sort of like a.
I think Bo Fermor's definitely a great option for your classic players, Mick, or those players that shouldn't say classic, the people that don't play the buy rounds, just head-to-head players.
Yeah, so I was going to sort of start with those type of guys who we think are going to play Origin, but if you're not too invested in your overall, like there's still fine options like Nanai is another guy.
Yeah, look,
scoring well, bottomed out in price, but I think he's fine to get.
Yeah, I agree.
519k break even of 1156 points last week. So yeah, Nanai is going well. If we're going to keep continuing to touch on those sort of Origin guys, Mick, I think the big point is maybe looking at the New South Wales side with your likes of James Tedesco and Mitchell Moses. Look, Dylan Edwards hasn't had his greatest season thus far. He's been basically riddled with injuries.
It's awful from me.
And Teddy's been absolutely killing it. But look, the question I pose to you is, can you drop Dylan Edwards when the Blues won the series last year? Dylan Edwards was the man of the match in the decider in Game 3.
Yeah.
to me, I think it'd be hard, like really harsh, if they were to drop Dylan Edwards for game one.
Well, you
this
could
year.
say the same thing about why bring back Nathan Cleary if they won without him.
Also, call me crazy. Is
Yeah.
James Tedesco like in some career best form at the moment? He's actually killing it.
Is Tedesco the LeBron of NRL?
He's in career best form in my
He had a
opinion.
bit of a
he's having a
dip.
great
A couple of
season.
years ago, he definitely had a bit of a dip in form, and he's back.
Yeah, he is back, and he's playing really good footy, and his fantasy stats. And I'm not saying that's to go off good form, but his fantasy stats are actually really well.
I actually think fantasy could be the best representation.
So
85 points last week for Teddy.
I wouldn't be saying to buy him this week, obviously with the buy, but am I certain that he's going to play Origin? I'm not sure. I think he's a very good
I
chance.
think it's 50-50.
I think it's a very good chance.
Because didn't Dylan Edwards sort of come off with a bit of a hamstring complaint? I wouldn't be surprised if he's a
but he
late
has been
pull.
named. He could be a late pull, yeah. No, I think you've got to go with Edwards. So I think that Tedesco, look, you're probably not even going to buy him next week. I think he's going to be, you wait after next weekend, see if he's named. If he's not named, then you go ahead and potentially get him in.
As a Queenslander, I am more comfortable with New South Wales picking Edwards and hoping he is fit
I
than
agree.
picking Tedesco at the moment and him having a blinder because he's playing elite football. So
Edwards will give you 3 7 out of 10 performances. Teddy, he might give you a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
He'll have some 10 out of 10s in there.
yeah, he'll have some
And he'll
moments.
break the game
Yeah, he'll have some moments.
So what about Mitchell Moses, the other man that I just touched on? He's 687K, got 50 points last week, 55 break even. What do we think there? Do you think he's the guy that's going to partner Cleary in the halves?
Good question. The way that I see the New South Wales team is that they'll have Cleary and Luai, and they'll go with a 4 bench rotation with like a Connor Watson or someone dynamic in the 14 jersey, like the Queensland do. Will they pick Moses? If he played a full season to start the year, I reckon they would have.
I feel like they will. I just feel like he was so instrumental last year for them. And like he's actually a pretty good attacking threat. Like if he's number 6 and they go, all right, Cleary, you sort of focus on the kicking. I still think Moses on that short side's pretty dangerous.
Again, as a Queensland perspective, if Jerome Luai has a 14 on his back, I'm loving that because what he offers to the game wouldn't be a 14-like injection.
Yeah,
he
sure.
has to either start or he's not on the team, in my opinion.
That's fair. I reckon Watson's locked in that 14.
Yeah. So it's either Luai or Mitch Moses. I'm more inclined for them to pick Luai at the moment, but that's just my opinion. I wouldn't be buying him in fantasy, though, this week.
I'll cross over to a couple more Origin guys who a lot of question marks if they get picked. I think Kiraz, especially after the weekend.
Wow.
You sort of go through that New South Wales backline, you go, well, how do you sort of not pick someone like a Tommy Turbo to fit him in or like a Stephen Crichton? I think he will get picked on the wing.
Yeah, I agree. Kiraz had an absolute belter on the weekend, didn't he? And I brought him in this week in the personal team for that reason. Great matchup against the Titans. 3 tries, a try assist, tackle bust. He loves an offload as well. He goes fishing for offloads every single time. And I think there's going to be a real change next year where offloads go to 2 points because 4 points is just...
It's ridiculous.
It's so overpowered.
How's it only one less than a try assist?
Yeah, exactly. So...
Riddle me that.
Well, they just
Kiraz,
need to
Origin...
increase the other stats.
Would you buy Kiraz?
I don't think Kiraz plays Origin.
Okay.
I think that...
Well, then he's a buy.
Yeah, I honestly think that they'll, even though that they're coming in a bit underdone, I think it's going to be Brian To'o and Zach Lomax on the wing. They're going to try and pick and stick as much as they can, I think, New South Wales, as well as add a few players like Tyrrell May or something like that into the fold. But look, yeah, 102 break even to 21, centre in wing fullback, dual Bulldogs have great buy schedule as well.
There's a chance Lomax misses out if Turbo's on the wing as well. Now I think
There
about
is
and you got Stephen Crichton and Latrell in the
They're
centres.
pretty stacked,
Yeah.
these boys, aren't they?
It's
Yeah.
not looking good.
No, I think he's a fine option, but there's obviously a bit of risk in that one as well, Mick.
I wouldn't tell anyone not to buy Kiraz.
Moving away, from the Origin players, and I want to give a buy of the week from my perspective this week, actually, and I want to chime in with a mid-podcast buy of the week.
Just spotted who
and
it
you've
is.
just spotted who it is. And he was in our teams a few years ago, and if you haven't guessed it, and I reckon a lot of people this week that want to get him in is going to be shitty that I say this because he's flying under the radar a little bit. But
For good reason, I think.
it's Kai Pearce-Paul
sorry.
is my edge pod.
I thought you had
this
Brad and
week.
Best up there.
No. Kai Pearce-Paul. So He's averaging around, let me get the info real quick. He's averaging 56.2 in his last 5. Last 3, 61.7. Coming off the scores of 76, 49, 60 without attacking stats. Now, that's the most important thing. He's got it truly off base, tackle bus, offloads. Gets through a mountain of work.
Really good buy schedule.
Really good buy
That's
schedule.
the benefit about the Knights. I don't miss a game until round 17 or something like that?
Round 18 is the
689K. If you can't afford the likes of Tapine yet or other people that we'll talk about soon, I'm going to say pod of the week for me.
Preston, straight to KPP. Don't mind that.
Yeah.
One guy I definitely would prioritise over KPP would be Dylan Lucas if you don't already have him.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe the most important guy to get in my opinion. If he's averaging 60 at centre and he has that good buy schedule.
Point.
And a great
good point.
63 last week for Lucas.
But a lot of people have him.
47 break even. He's in 14%. So to be
What's
honest, like he's in
I can't get the stats on my phone. 2%. See,
yeah.
pod. That's my pod of the week.
Yeah, Pearce-Paul's only in 2% of teams. He got 60
39
last
BE.
week. Yeah, 39 break even. So yeah, look, I think Lucas did just with that centre duel is really juicy. Having like someone like that can play on the edge and in the centres, especially with how some of the centres have been performing. Look, Toya absolutely smashed it last week. So
What a heartbreak.
that was heartbreaking, especially when I had Toya, Jenkins, and Savala all on my bench. So I had about like 200 points just sitting there, not even playing. So that was wonderful. But yeah, look, back to the chase as well as with Lucas. Look, great match this week as well against the Titans. So I think both of them are great options. Like you said, if you've already got Lucas, I think Pearce-Paul's a great option.
And the Knights, although they sort of stink this year, they do have the Titans coming up and they have the Eels the week after.
And then
they've really started to
as well.
Yeah.
They started to play very well. Like that game on the weekend, they scored I think nearly half of their season total points in one game.
I feel sorry for Rabbitohs fans because they are depleted.
Yes, they have they have
I
lost
truly
their
feel
stocks
sorry
are
for
depleting.
them. Yeah, no,
Big
they
time.
were looking very promising. Humphreys will help.
Moving on, yeah, exactly. Humphreys is back this week. I wouldn't say buy, considering the amount of people that we do have in the halves, like Cleary, Moses, Hughes, Hines. So if you're looking for a half, I wouldn't be going him this week.
I just think he's a perfect guy to get after the bye because he's got a 68 break even. Judging off his form earlier in the year, he could beat that, but I think after the bye, he's a perfect guy to get in. Might bottom out in price as well.
Yep.
Yeah, he could definitely drop a bit. I wouldn't say no to anyone buying him this week.
Yeah,
because
if he's getting the 70s.
look what's happened with Lewis Dodd. He's barely playing.
I'd like to give him a week though with the Hemi.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not going to say no to someone if they wanted to buy him this week, but yeah, I'm with you, Mick. Maybe after the buy might be the best chance.
Yeah, another half who pretty similar had an injury, came back a lot earlier than we thought. Jayden Campbell.
2 weeks earlier.
He was almost a must get. Like, do you get him in straight away? I think his ankle may not be 100%, but they are sort of scratching their heads for answers. And
And the Titans are also awful.
Oh yeah,
So
he'll help, but
He's averaging 62.6 for the season, break even of 49. Great matchup against Newcastle this week. It's hard to
I sort of want to get it back, which is annoying.
It's hard to not say no, but I think like you said, Mick, you probably give him a week, just see how he goes this week, gets through, and then he could be in the same situation as Humphreys, potentially getting back after the bye round because the Titans don't play round 12 either, so it could be someone to get in round 13.
Look, it's definitely not our fault. I said Eels top 6 start of the year. Cordless said Titans top 8, top 6. I think injuries are to blame there.
yeah, I agree. If you go through the Titans side and have a look at have a look at this list, their side is stacked.
We didn't really say that with chess as well. It's just sort of an outlandish bit of a joke.
Well, speaking
I
of
might have said it with
claims,
chest once, but
speaking of claims that haven't gone that well, look, Luke Metcalf,
he's done well, hasn't
637K,
he?
93 points last week, break even of 3.
that up to
51.6 and is in 17.8% of teams. I just think that he's really started to flourish. 69 points 2 weeks ago, and then last weekend against the Cowboys, 93 points.
He's averaging 51 for the year.
I can say this with chest. Your balls are large if you're getting Luke Metcalf back if you've sold him this year. Definitely.
Yeah, like he's the same price as Humphreys.
Like,
He's definitely improved the last 3 weeks. It's been unbelievable. 2 tries.
I wouldn't
He
be
literally
buying
did
back.
everything. 7 tackle busts. Second half was pretty quiet.
I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted to bring him back. They don't have a bye till round 15. They play the first bye round, and the matches that they have are
What's wrong with the matchup this week?
nothing's wrong with the matchup this week. It's great.
The Red V. The Red V got to put on a show, mate.
Raiders in round 12 is the only one that I'm sort of looking at, which could be a bit dicey. But look, the Warriors are sitting in third place on the ladder, and look, their form of late has been largely down to the impact from Luke Metcalf.
Third on ladder, second.
I believe they could be second or third. I can't really remember. I think the Raiders are either.
That's a lovely run. Dragons, then Dolphins, Rabbitohs the week after.
Warriors
Raiders.
are third. Raiders are second. So, I think that's a really good option if you want someone that's going to play that first bye round for you. So should we move on to the next man? We're only going to touch on this guy.
I was going to
for
go
about-
into some Middlesbrough.
Yeah, go for it.
Tapine, he's been absolutely killing it. Plays the first bye round.
Well, we can talk about all these guys at the same time because they're all in the similar boat, really. Tapine, McInnes, Thompson, and Clark.
Yeah.
All playing that first bye round. Who is the main man to go?
I think Tapine's he's going to be in your team for the rest of the year. His minutes look a bit up, or at least his production. He got 67 on the weekend.
Yeah.
Break-even at 58.
He's always going to have a low score in there, but that was only 38 points he got in round 7. Other than that, 67, 64, 67, 86, 61.
Yeah, he's playing steady minutes now. If Corey Horsburgh's
Great.
out this week, I'd suggest probably going straight swap there.
Yep.
I-
And we know during the Origin period, I think Corey Horsburgh plays Origin, minutes might get a bit of an uptick.
Yeah. I also think if you're worried about Isaiah Yeo or something like that, I think he's a hold until Origin. But if you wanted to go Yeo to Tapine,
Oh.
I'd be holding Horsburgh personally until the
Yeah,
Unless
that's
he's
fair.
ruled out
Yo is
until the
definitely a
Origin.
hold to Origin, 100%.
McInnes is also a great option. Scored a cheeky little try there.
72 points last week for me.
I think he's
I
a bit
think
of
he can
less
play
ex-
option.
He's less
could play Origin.
exciting. Yeah, he could actually. Did he play last year?
Mm,
Game 3? He might
He
have.
might have.
Might have.
He could be a smoky, but
I think he's
Connor
an
Wa-
option.
He's
I
not the
think
most
Connor
exciting.
Watson-
He's not more exciting than Tapine, but his
Lowest score of 44,
Yeah, his
72
floor is
last
very
week,
good.
58 the week before, 44, 45. I think you're probably leaning towards Tapine over McInnes, but there's nothing wrong with going someone like a Cam McInnes for sure. On to the next man. Look, I'll quickly, before I touch on Leo Thompson, Erin Clark. If you haven't got Erin Clark, you just need to get Erin Clark.
I don't think he's a must-have, to be honest.
Fisher Harris back, but I just think
Yeah.
it's because of Connor Watson owners and Peter Mamazoulis owners would be scratching their heads who to get.
That's why I think he's a must-have. I honestly think that the hooker.
What about Blake Brayley?
Blake Brayley's
Pods.
Blake Brayley's a
That's my
bit
pod of the
of
week.
a bit of an option.
He's
but
underrated.
I just think that Erin Clark, what he's done, basically the platform that he's laid for the Warriors the last 3 weeks to a month won't go
They played well on
unnoticed.
the
I
weekend.
think he's going to continue to get around 50 to 60 minutes, regardless of Fisher Harris coming back. I just think he's a real leader for this side, and he's just absolutely churns out the stats. And with hookers this year, there's now Mamazoulis, like you said.
What happened to
gone
that
down.
great? What happened to the great era of hooker fantasy production?
Cook.
And
Hook and
now,
Cook.
Healy's
Cook-
come
Cook.
onto the bench for the Warriors, so now
Smith.
Wade Egan's losing a bit of value there as well.
Yeah, I'm not saying not to buy him, Dor. I'm just saying, there's obviously caution to the wind here with the fact that people might come back and steal some minutes is what I'm suggesting. But
No,
I do
that's
think
fair.
he's a good option still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very fair. I just think if that happens, well, Webster's lost his head because they've
maybe-
won all their games.
I'll
When he's
segue
played.
into another cheaper hooker who could be probably the best option if you're scrambling for a hooker to play, and he plays around 12. Ryley Smith, 54 points, missed 8 tackles, so 7 tackles. If he gets that down, could put up some great scores.
Well, that was his
good
best
downgrade.
performance from the
Yeah,
the
he's
season.
playing 80, good downgrade option. I'm probably just happy just sort of keeping in there, praying that he goes all right until I can sort of look at other options.
Yeah, I think he's going. Look, that he's only, as I said a few weeks ago, he's only going to get better.
We
each
said that
week.
last week.
Yeah, 72 minutes last week, 54 points. I really think that he plays the first bye round as well. I think it's a really easy straight swap from Mamazoulis to go straight to Ryley Smith, free up some cash, and then potentially upgrade
That'll be a
someone
popular
else.
I'll admit, I don't think Ryley Smith was ever on my radar at all.
No, once he got that 80-minute roll, I was like, I just want to see how he goes.
Yeah.
Went early last week.
I'm an Erin Clark owner, so do I bother getting Smith, who, is one bad game away of then not making any more cash? He is 490K, isn't he? So
There's still question marks about like Lussick when he's back.
390. Riley Smith's 390K, so
he's probably still worth it, isn't he?
He's still in that cheapy sort of bracket.
I'm still trying to get as much guns in as possible.
Yeah,
So.
7 break even. I just think it's one of those trades you can get rid of Mamazoulis for sort of a like-to-like player. Mamazoulis is going to be out at looks like for around 3 to 6 weeks. And then if you haven't seen the news from today, it looks like Brandon Smith is joining South. He's due back in around 6 weeks. So look, Mamazoulis might not be the starting hooker for South anymore moving forward. So I think
Poor Peter.
I think Cheese will just go straight into a lock roll. My take.
I think
his days of being a hooker's over.
I do agree with that, but could I see them definitely playing Brandon Smith
He'll
at
definitely
hooker
go
for
in there
now?
a bit. Peter may not pay 80. Just Tevaga we've got down here.
Yes.
At the bye. 38 before that, 70 minutes, 61.
He's the last 2 weeks since Gerbo's
I know you're a fan.
The last 2 weeks since Gerbo's been out, his minutes have increased immensely. And then also the fact that now this week he's actually taken Gerbo's 13 jersey and Gerbo is starting at prop.
Oh.
So Tevaga is starting this week at lock and Gerbo is starting at prop. So
The minutes could be, I think they're very hard to predict.
Well, look, the other thing is as well, does Gerbo play Origin? I know it sounds stupid, but I'm already hearing stuff out in New South Wales that because of what happened last year, that Gerbo should be playing
He was captain.
Origin again. He was captain, but barely played around 30 minutes.
Like 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20, 30 minutes. I just think that there's
Broder's taken some contact earlier in the game.
it's a bit of a risky one with
Where's the locker room
Tevaga,
go?
but I think there's a bit of upside there. Would I be probably going Ryley Smith over Tevaga? Yeah, definitely. Like last week, he could have got another 50 plus score, but he missed 6 tackles, so he lost 12 points. But he got 61 and 69 minutes the week before, and then he played 70 minutes last week and got 38 points all the week before last.
I'm happy to give him a week. Like he's got a 6 break even. He's going to smack that easy. But
look,
I think Ryley Smith's the guy.
Yeah.
Well, the other cheapie option is King-Togia, who
He was
played a pretty
special.
good game on the weekend, didn't he? 47 points, I believe he got. Look, there's a way to get him in this week because his break even was so high the week before.
-2 break even this week.
Yeah, regardless of the bye round schedule, I'll be pulling the trigger on King-Togia there and getting him in, especially if you need to upgrade some guns.
Yeah, it's been a year where there's been a lot of obvious cheapies to get, and he's one of them. Like, bit of aura, can I just say?
Yeah, and
Apparently Dragons have no young up-and-comers, but we've shown
Savala's
this
playing
year.
well
Yep.
as well. He's making a lot of cash.
King-Togia is
Yeah,
good.
they're
I
cheaper.
I do worry. Like the concern is with the buy not playing that first buy round. Like, do you go and get say a Ryley Smith or someone else that is going to play that first buy round rather than a King-Togia?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it depends really.
For my team, I've got 3 exy guys out, like a Preston, Peter, and I'm like, I sort of got to replace them with guns.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And like, he's going to go up cash, but it's not going to be unattainable.
I got Sitwell Wong out as well. Like, it's just shocking. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah,
Let's keep moving
I
A
on.
couple
think-
of centers,
yeah.
boys. Kale Iro and Reuben Garrick, just simple ones. Kale Iro scored every week.
50
So-
points he got on the weekend, break even
Scored a try.
51, averaging
they're both as good as
54.8.
each
Yeah,
other.
they're going to be keepers. Herbie's going to be a keeper as well. That's a no-brainer. He's
And
always going to
Sharpe
be a
as
buy.
well. Like, he's been absolutely killing it.
Oh, my Fletcher Sharpedo. A hat trick on
The
his birthday. Took him back to
Sharpe,
Peter
Brown.
Siddle at the Gabba.
Shout out Sidzy. Brown, Sharpe, Ponga. That is a strange spine.
It could flourish there.
They could all run like 150 meters.
It's something to look forward to.
We've
next
flown
season.
past the buys. We'll go straight into the holds. There's some massive obvious ones here. I think we got Wade Egan. Like he's going to be a great one to hold.
Yeah.
You need a hooker. He could even be a buy. He didn't go great in the weekend, but he's fine.
Just because of the
Isaiah.
Healy coming on. But I don't know if he keeps his spot throughout.
Yeah.
Like RTS is close to coming back for the Wars as
Naf
well.
White, I think just through Origin, he's going to be very handy. I think Spencer Linu plays Origin as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically confirmed Spencer Linu playing Origin. So I think that's definitely, I think out of all the Roosters that we'll touch on, he's definitely the one that you should hold.
What do you think about Sanders Smith? The Dragons made him look like an immortal, and last week came off early.
Last
It's a bit
week,
of a tricky one.
yeah,
Buy this week.
Well, he plays the bias.
he plays the bye.
Do you have another half option that
Yeah.
doesn't play the buy?
It gets to the time of the year where you got to really assess like, okay, this guy might lose 50K or whatever, but it's worth keeping just so you have enough numbers for the first buy.
So he got -2 last week, 43 break even. So it's not out of this world for next week that he could come and get over that 43.
It's a bummer, isn't it? Because he was break even was like -10,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Or something.
Depends on
very
your team
low.
comp. If you're looking set and you want to get in like a massive keeper, then yeah.
Yeah. Do you touch on Johan Horsburgh? Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I think Horsburgh just monitor the late mail. I think he's all good because it was technically a Cat 1, but then they did further testing.
He was
on
shown having a beer in the
Tuesday.
sheds after
Yeah.
the game, so I think that's
if Horsburgh's out, I'll say this: if Horsburgh's out, he's gone in my team. 100%,
Ooh.
he's gone.
Hey, he's so consistent.
He's consistent, but he'll play Origin. And would you rather sell Azayo or Horsburgh? You're selling Horsburgh
Well,
to get in a
I
Lucas.
hope Horsburgh plays Origin, but with Billy Slater, I've got no fucking clue if he's going to pick him. So
That's the first swear word about Billy of the year.
I don't have a clue if he should be getting picked.
David Fafita's not getting picked. That's for
No,
fucking
well,
sure.
yeah, with all that's going on, no, definitely not. But I think that, yeah, look, Cord, I agree with you. He's probably,
If I'm getting
definitely if
Lucas,
he's out.
if it's to get Lucas, he's gone.
or even Tapine, like you said, Cord, or Pearce-Paul. I think they're all great options to get in.
Yeah, if
for
you don't have
Horsburgh.
Lucas, you're killing your year. Katoga, we got him in 2 weeks ago. You've been great, mate. But we're still going to hold
Yeah,
because I think if you're
plays the
80 minute
first buy round
forward,
as well.
center, like he's not going to go up massively, but he's going to be fine.
Yeah, just hold him for that first buy round, and then if it's still not going that well, we can just get rid of him and upgrade to someone else.
Poor Jenko. He's another guy. Poor Jenko had an absolute blind. He got 70 points and he's been benched, which is fair enough for Brian To'o. But
No,
it's just
it's-
frustrating that it took that long
If you,
for him to finally not have a hog inside him, mind you.
yeah, look, the first week that Casey McLean's not in the team and he goes out there and gets 70 points.
Do you
it's
hold? Like he's going to, if he
Well-
plays 20 minutes, he's going to smack his break even. But
11, his break even's 11. My hope is that they do a late switch and that Garner gets dropped to the bench and Jenkins goes in and starts at centre.
they have a bye next week, which is annoying.
Yeah,
Well, I
then-
think
then
that
they play the
actually
bye.
it might not be annoying. It might be
Oh,
if
and Brian To'o, yeah.
Well,
That's
To's
an easy
probably
one,
going to
I
play Origin as well, I'd say.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's an easy one.
I'd be holding Jenko. I wouldn't be playing him in my 17 if I obviously had the option to not play him. But I'm probably going to have to play him because I've got too many bloody Roosters.
Shout out Jenko.
But yeah,
Hey, good on you, Jenk.
Jackson
hope he-
Purdue, I think all year he could be a keeper in the centres.
Depends who you got. If you got Lucas and Kiraz, sell them.
Yeah, that's fair. Smokey for Origin, I think it'd be pretty dumb to put him in straight away.
I'm
think
thinking
he's
about
gonna
starting
be-
this
I
week.
prefer Robbie Toya.
I think he's going to be him and Toya will be in and around the group,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think will be named in the 18-man squad.
I think it's fair to sell, but I got a lot of headaches, and he's not one of them.
no. Yeah,
and
that's true.
Hubner,
What did I
decent
say?
minutes.
What did I say?
decent minutes.
What did I say last week? Who's
Back.
starting at lock this
Yep.
week?
Yeah, I sold him.
Big Hubner, and he looked great. Just quietly on the weekend. I
Don't
thought
like
he was.
him.
I thought he was great
to
in
work.
his stint on the weekend. So yeah, I think that's going to be great. And unfortunately for South, they just keep on losing player after player after player. So yeah, I think he's going to be in for a big stint this week.
All right, the sells.
Is he
This-
starting, sir?
Yeah, starting
Hubner,
lock
yeah.
Far out.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
because Keon Kulamatungi's gone into prop, and so has Jai Arrow with all these injuries. So there's all sorts of movement. Aiken and Duncan in the second row. So I wouldn't be surprised if Hubner plays around 60 minutes this week.
Sells. Jacob Preston. That is really, really aggravating.
Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it?
I had him in
That
my
sucks.
team. We have him. Fuck me.
Yeah. It's
4 weeks?
4 weeks.
Like,
for
it was a
that.
crusher, but are we giving 4 weeks for a crusher and then other things where it's a careless high tackle and they take the head off?
I just think it's really, it's the problem with the system with the loading. That's what's cooked him, his priors of all the incidents that have just stacked up. And then now, instead of getting a 1 to 2 week that he should have got, he ends up getting a 3 to 4.
He's got a record.
He's got a record, and it sucks because he had such
It's
a good
also 4
performance.
weeks. Like, if it was 2, like, you're keeping him. 3, even you're thinking about. But 4 is just so aggravating.
Nah, it's just a straight
Now he
sell
doesn't play
to
the bye. It's
either
like-
Pearce-Paul or Lucas, I think.
David Fafita, if you still got him.
Nah, there's
What-
all
What
sorts.
a shocking.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a howler. It's
I
a
wa-
howler.
not necessarily his fault. I do think at times
He's a bit lazy.
he's a
at
bit
times.
lazy, sure. But I don't think he's held in the highest regard at the Titans.
No. Well, so again, if you didn't see the news today,
If Doyle was the coach, he'd be playing 80 minutes.
oh no, look, Fafita would be playing in my side. It also there's a lot of reports about a falling out between him and Dez, as well as also issues with his ankle injury as well.
I think that's a bit of a
and-
scapegoat.
And then now the latest reports is he's being shipped. So look, I would not be going anywhere near Fafita. And look, you could see Fafita in new colours very soon.
Could this be some massive ploy from the Roosters? I don't know how, but now they get him at a discount. Or
No,
do you,
I just-
what's the go there? Like, do they?
No, I just quietly, I'll say something at the end of the podcast for what the Roosters are doing. But I
Okay,
think that
bomb.
I think that
Doyle's got sources.
just look, if Madge is listening, just get rid of it. Whoever we need to, and get Fafita back at Red Hill. We need a second rower. We need some
You
spark.
have no salary cap, surely.
Trades have to be a bigger thing in NRL. Like in NBA, there should be a nice little period around around Origin where it's the trade block, and you just trade all your guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if
You need,
I think
a draft.
as a Dragons fan, I think we're trading Flanagan for cash considerations.
yeah.
Imagine if you trade your coach. All right. All right, Des, you're not performing. We're going to trade you for Bellamy.
For
and
Holbrook.
We're going
For
to
Holbrook.
trade you for Bellamy and for Feeder. Des for Feeder down there for Bellamy.
Now onto some players that we sort of touched on. I think that will play Origin.
Easy
and
ones
they've
in
got to
my
go.
opinion.
Yeah, Connor Watson. 46 last week, break even at 58. But as Mick and I discussed in length on this podcast, the Roosters, for those Origin players, really don't have a good schedule at all. So they're definitely players that you need to get rid of. That's the same applies for Angus Crichton as well. I think
It's tough, but
yeah,
the way
I
it
think
is.
that both him and Watson would
It's a
definitely
scheduling
be
issue.
picked. Look, I've got Angus Crichton and Connor Watson, and I'm selling both of them this week.
JMK, Peter Mamazoulis, easy ones.
Well,
AJ
look-
Brimson's been quite disappointing. He's not a half.
He's
Needs to
been-
be fullback. He could be a trade guy.
He's been the most disappointing fish of the season. He has been awful.
All
Just
the
quietly.
fishes have been terrible, with all due respect.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
the salmon doesn't have a big role, but I think he's at least doing better than bloody Brimson playing 80 minutes.
Forgot about the chat.
And he's
Dole could start a team. He's picking salmon over Brimson.
oh
Well,
no,
the way
it's
he's
just,
going, though. Like,
Brimson's just like he has to score to get like around a 40 or 50 points. I think until we see Brimson move back to fullback, which I think could happen with Kieran Foran when he comes back into the side. But for now, I just think Brimson's got to go. Like you said,
That's
with
fair.
Marshall King, look, apparently the gash that he actually suffered against Penrith is just absolutely like infected. It's
staph.
It's no good. Yeah, so he's going to be
It's
out
dangerous.
for like 2 to 4 weeks. And then Mamazoulis, I think, like I said earlier in the podcast, I
Easy
think
one,
he's
Dole.
out
Easy
for
one.
3 to 6 weeks. So
Stafford Toa. I think he's fine to sell. He's sort of like a Jackson.
you probably
Purdue,
should have
where
sold
he's-
him last week. But I think someone like a Ryley Smith or a King-Togia or something like that, a Jazz Tevaga, some like cheap guy like that, I think is probably a good one. Or you could upgrade him to one of those guns like a Lucas or something like that, Mick.
I'll just end on this. We were talking about Angus Crichton. Who is the starting back rowers and maybe bench back rowers for New South Wales. I think they stick with last year and it's just Liam Martin, Angus Crichton, and then Hudson Young on the bench. But there's been a few names thrown around. Does Olakuatu make it? Do they throw in someone like Lucas? Well, maybe not Preston now.
Yeah, it's probably
You guys go. I know who.
Does Liam Martin deserve to get picked, respectfully?
It's probably the most burning question in the league at the moment is who New South Wales pick in the second row. I reckon, as a Queensland perspective, I'd be happy if they went Liam Martin and Crichton. To be honest, Hudson Young and Olakuatu scare me.
Yeah, they do.
Hudson Young scares me a lot. If they don't pick him, I'd be cheering. He's
Liam-
definitely one of the form second rowers in the comp at the moment.
Liam Martin will put on a few shots.
That's what
Great, mate. You can have that. We'll take you running 40 metres
Yeah.
over Olakuatu breaking 10 tackles. and running 200.
I would have it Hudson Young and Olakuatu Crichton bench.
I think I'd have Hudson Young and Liam Martin as the starting second rowers and have Angus Crichton off the bench for impact.
Olakuatu's such a pod. He's such
I'd
a
have
pod.
Hudson starting with Olakuatu, Crichton off the bench.
Olakuatu's such a pod. Imagine if
I would
Queensland
have
had
picked
him.
Preston,
God.
but probably not anymore.
Yeah. Oh, well.
We're cheering if they pick Liam Martin, respectfully.
Yeah, I think we're screwed anyway.
No, I think we got a chance.
Yeah,
guys
we usually recovering.
have guys like Tino, Horsburgh to
We're
pick
an aging
from,
side.
to pick from this year. Like I think Tino's huge. We really missed him last year. So
I'm slightly concerned for the next 6 years. We are an aging side. Who's our next up and coming guns?
My biggest
got plenty
problem is
of
our
good-
fullbacks. Like,
Who's the up and coming
fullbacks.
guns? Who's
Like
who
you
is
got Toya, Fermor,
Purdue?
Purdue, yeah,
Uh,
Nanai.
New-
Nanai's still young.
New South Wales have a good set of 24 to 27-year-olds who is going to absolutely carry in the next 10 years.
Sam Walker.
this could be the worst take of the year.
Tom Dearden.
I think we picked Jamal Fogarty over DC.
And
no,
on that
definitely
note-
not.
Because DC won't play next year. I think we look to the next
He
3
said
years.
he wants to play the next 2 years.
Yeah, always kidding.
Oh, actually, my bomb. The Roosters. So another thing is Dom Young will be at Dom Young will be at Newcastle by the end of the week. Smith will be at South. I think that the Roosters are freeing up money to get Daly Cherry Evans. And
Is this a
Daly
bomb or your prediction?
No, this is what I'm hearing. So this is Daly Cherry Evans will sign with the Roosters on a 1 to 2 year deal. And he also said he wants to play Origin for the next couple of years as well. So I think the Roosters are freeing up the cap to basically bring in DCE for a Cronk-like contract to try and win a chip in the next couple of years.
I think that's perfectly fine, but their young halves this year have shown they're pretty top quality. So
Yeah.
Zavala's
what's
been good.
Zavala going to think if they get DCE? Might be missing out on a good young.
That's they could lose
And
someone
Sam Smith.
like a Sandon Smith or thing.
Savala's
I know
been
you'll hate to
excellent.
hear this, but I did just read just before that the Dragons might look at Sandon Smith if he is shipped out basically or pushed out from the Roosters with this DCE.
Brother, the game I watched, he looked like an immortal. So
He
I'd
was
love to
special.
get him.
All right, thanks for that. We should be back with the normal program next week. I won't be sick, and I should be here with Cord for next week's TLT, and I hopefully should start Monday nights with Door on Monday night as well.
That'll be special.
So, no, we will see you then.
See ya.
Catch up.